Oops. Try to get this working. Get this. Fucking stand or something. It's terrible lighting. Hello from Portlandia. Hello there. How are you? Let's see if we can get this. Knew that was gonna happen. Yes. I have a book. I have books. All right, as long as I don't touch it, it should be fine. Yep, nope, it's about to fall again. Oh, while people get notification. There we go. All right. Okay, that should be fine. Oh, I don't want to do that. This fucking thing will stay up on me. Okay. There we go. A lot of light in here. What's going on? Wait a few minutes. Wait a few minutes. That's, I woke up not too long ago. Is that rain? Better not be rain. Oh, who's up? Katie K, Sister Cherry, completely missed the point. That's her job. That is, as an enabler, that is a point. That's the focus, that's the goal. I'm a Cherry showing to give baby Gary's milk. Yep, there needs to be a titty. And there's a reason he can call her and she can come in like a bull in China. Let me just start off by saying that. I already knew. I get it. People getting called 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, for most people, most sane, normal, logical, rational people, if you were calling me at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and it's not like a family emergency, I'm going to think something about you. But when your job is to coddle a grown man and settle his internet beefs, that sort of thing goes out of the way, right? Because a part of me was like, you know what, this is terrible. Why is he waking? I know she got kids and a husband, but you know, they're in the bed laying down, you know, whatever. And so a part of me kind of felt, but that went right out the window. The second she came in and started yelling and screaming and stomping her, smashing her fist like a fucking child, like a child, like a child, right? Like, do you not have any home training? How are you somebody's fucking, like, where do you not have home training at all? But whatever. I guess if it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're an adult child and your goal, one of your goals in life is to enable a man child, then you can behave like one too. Like, what fucking wildebeest just came in here, and it had the audacity to start yelling about, I bet not hit nothing from no atheist this ain't about it. Like, you're not in your Google Hangout, you are not in your StreamYard, you are not in church. This is my domain. This ain't yours. I don't know if she recognized the link and who was in there, but who was gonna tell her what? That was the first thing she needed to establish. And I'm like, this is like bull in a china shop is the best way I can illustrate that. I'm just like, of course, you know. But she wants things to be civil. She don't want to be cussed at, but she don't want to watch her damn mouth and control her fucking self, right? If she wants respect, then she needs to learn how to fucking show it at some point in time in her goddamn life. Shit. Oh, it was funny. She had nerve enough to call me a hood rat, and I'm like, lady, you have no idea. You have no idea. But I think this is I think some weird mentality of folks up in the Northeast of the United States have. You don't talk to folks from the South like that. You don't. You don't. And I've noticed this kind of weird attitude where the people that I grew up around will snatch you out of your fucking car, right? But that sort of thing is cool. And I never understood that when I was living up there. You will get snatched out of your car for less than that. But I can tell that you never had nothing like that happen in life. So, you know, it's crazy. No fucking home training. No home training. Black Guy TV, man, you missed a lot last night. My husband would look at me sideways if a man called me at 2 a.m. Right? Just like, what's going on here? Are they dying? They bleeding? What's going on? No? Okay, it's time to go to bed. But, you know, priorities. It's so funny. Spackle and Cherry went at. Look, I wanted Spackle to, like, it's the fuck yeah part of me was like, you know, about to bring Spackle in and leave her and just blood sport. But again, the only reason that I stayed as calm as I did and I did not blow her out the fucking airlock was for Faithful God. That is literally the only reason. And at one point, my wife had to step in and calm me down because she was just being a disrespectful fucking bitch. I mean, that's the honest truth. That's when you tell me, and I'm not apologizing for calling her a bitch because she was for this. When you tell me that I hate all Christians, including my dead grandmother that I love very, very deeply, after Faithful just shared some very personal stuff that only he and I knew, that I sent him a very personal video of my grandmother's funeral with my cousins and uncles preaching, right? And then the fucking crack her dick hole about me hating, like, are you fucking serious? Like, that sent me over the edge. I was absolutely mad, and that's why I was calling her a bitch. Like, who says shit like that? But I mean, I don't know what I expected. I don't know why I expected any better. And it has nothing to do with religion. It's just home training. He's just a fucking beast in a goddamn wig. So to say to some of the shit that she did and then demand respect, that right there was like top tier bullshit. Top tier, and just like oh my god. But Harry jumped into your room. Oh yeah. Ton of credit for faithful respect, please, and that's why y'all heard me before any of this. Y'all heard I have a lot of respect for Faithful. Y'all see why? Y'all, it's live and in color, in real time. Y'all see why I have a lot of respect for that dude? A lot of respect. I'm kind of quiet. That's because I'm kind of far away. All right. This should be better. Is this better? Never heard of Faithful is really cool. Yeah. No, so if you did not watch the video that I had last night, go to about halfway in where you see, you know, Sister Cherry and you see Faithful to God. There's one point where it's Holy Spackle, Faithful, and myself, and just skip past that and then go to like that. Oof, big oof. I can't believe she doesn't see what a horrible excuse for Christian G, man. She sees what she wants to see. And then take also into account that is not entirely her fault because G-Man does lie to her. And I think she may have realized last night that she didn't expect me to have receipts on that whole, oh, you atheist, Dragnauct. He told me that you got him fired. And I said, did anybody? And this is a really good part for y'all who did not see it last night. I asked her if anyone showed her any evidence that I got him fired. And I specifically said show evidence. And so she started hemming and hawing. Well, I had a brother I really trusted. Well, I said, no, I didn't ask you that. I said, had anyone showed you any evidence? And of course, she starts getting irritated because she's avoiding what I fucking said for a reason, because she knows she doesn't have any. She knows she's wrong. And so I said, good, I got something for you. And I played the video. Now I said, if somebody's not at their job, somebody lost their job, should they answer the phone? No. Oh, really? You don't say. So guess what? I showed them receipts. Now, most logical fucking people go, man, I've been repeating a lie, a bad lie at that. And this person's been repeating this lie for a while now. That's evidence to the contrary. Huh. Somebody's been lying to me. Most people are going to have an issue with the fact that they've been lied to for so long. I guarantee you she's going to absolve that I'm calling it right now. That's not a small lie. And mind you, I didn't even touch his favorite infidelity lie, or recently where he's been saying I've been abusing my wife. We're not going to touch that yet because there's already she has literally a playlist of his threats amongst 5 other videos. And she says she's going to sit through and watch it all. That includes the 50-minute long threats and doxing and stuff like that. Has that too. Claims never have seen it. I don't watch the stuff about the atheists, and I said, okay. Of course you don't. He just references the stuff and you just fucking believe it, but whatever. There's somebody say, of course he deleted it. Of course he did. I think someone may have it, but trust me, there's a lot of stuff in there that gonna be useful later. Very useful. Sis Cherry says she would view the video to the Chase. Will Sis Cherry change her mind about G-Man? No, not at all. I'm willing to put money on that one. I saw the part where you were with Faithful and Sabella. Oh, didn't know she came. No, Sabella didn't come in. I don't know what you're talking about. This Cherry last night was so painful I had to leave. Yeah, it's just absolutely obnoxious. I don't know who raised her, but they need to try again. I doubt she will abandon her in-group favoritism anytime soon. She will do everything she can, even lie to herself, to explain weight and reason. If you go back and listen to it, you can actually hear a part where she starts to make excuses for G-Man. She was actually in the process, in the mental, before I think Faithful had to cut her off because it's clear. It's clear because she can look at the live chat. She was getting pissed about what people were saying, but it's true. And I told her, like, you're an enabler. That's exactly what she's an enabler. I mean, she can deny it, but she was even doing it in the fucking Hangout. It's like, are you kidding me? I keep calling it Hangout. StreamYard. I'll say it's Stream. But, clutching her holy pearls. Yeah. Does G-Man dissolve in water? Yeah. She was being insulted. Yeah, the entire time. And that's what kills me is that I had... I will say this. Y'all may not believe me. I had a roommate with the same demeanor and disposition as Sister Cherry. She was from New Orleans. The same loud and obnoxious and ghetto attitude. I had a roommate like that, me and the wife. I threatened to kick her ass down the stairs because me and her went at it. And it had to do with the comment she made to my then girlfriend. And so that's, as I'm sitting there, I'm like, she reminds me of Cabrina. God damn it. She reminds so much. No home training at all. She had the nerve to criticize Faithful when he should be her G-Man and Veckel's role model if they want to be a good Christian folk. And so when I'm doing my reviews and I'm describing to y'all the mindset of the enablers, that's why I included her. So it's one thing to get my depiction and my perspective, but it's even better when y'all can see and hear it for yourself. You can see Veckel's comments, you can see Oneness, you can see some of these other cats in the chat. You can hear Sister Cherry, you can hear all of them. And then you have that to contrast against someone of high integrity, like Faithful. And you see it. So I want people to be honest when you answer this question. I want people to be very honest with. Uh, Drag, the only word I can use at this point, G-Man, is insufferable. Laughed so hard when you blasted him on the Starbucks handshake. Yeah, that was very telling, wasn't it? You saw, and I even prompted him. He knew what I was going to ask him. He knew, and then I wouldn't call people. He knew. That's why he doesn't mention that to y'all, because that was a very bad part of his narrative that he didn't want to include, because he wants to tell people, "Oh, Dragnauct was respectful." I said, "No, I brought you to your knees the first time we met." I said, "Remember all those threats, all that shit talk for years and years? Yeah, that shit caught up with you." And I just slowly squeezed his hand, but that's why I did it, because I know he lies like that. Well, because I called people on the spot, and they said exactly what I had said. But when y'all first started hearing about these enablers and their behaviors, before last night, right, I described a set of characteristics, behaviors, and I went on to kind of describe their role in the dynamic with G-Man. From what y'all read in the live chat, from what y'all saw in G-Man's Hangout, from what y'all saw in the stream, from what y'all heard and saw in my stream, was my depiction of G-Man's inner circle enablers accurate? If it was kind of accurate, say it's kind of accurate. If it was really accurate, really, just be very, very honest. Was I accurate up until now with my depiction of G-Man's enablers? Because I want to make sure. Because again, I'm all about accountability. Vecco instructed people to judge your channel on its contents and not to consume it, and that's absolutely fine. If he thinks that me lambasting his buddy G-Man is something that people should look at, then absolutely. There's definitely a sway, and I think people should take time to watch the content. Now, it's interesting because Vecco's all about the superficial assessment of things, and even when he and I would discuss theological scientific topics, you'll notice that Vecco can't actually tell you the content of any debate that he's ever watched. And that's something I picked up on a few years ago, that he's not the brightest guy in the world, and he has a hard time discussing topics with any real depth, because he's pretty ignorant. Like, he's pretty uneducated on these topics. And so when you ask him, and it's real easy to do if you ever talk to Vecco, ask him to give a summary of somebody's position, especially someone he disagrees with. He can't do it. He actually can't do it. There's a cognitive bias that resides within Vecco that's his Achilles heel that I use every time I talk to him. And it's so easy to access. And he still, even now, hasn't been able to shore up that weakness, that flaw. But it's partially the fact that he isn't that bright, and I think more so a cognitive bias, and he insulates himself from any real criticism, so he doesn't have to work on it. I love how Vaughn tried to make the 5-3 thing about him. Yeah, you notice that everything becomes about him, every single thing, and I had to laugh. He denied saying things about veterans. That was unbelievable. You have all the evidence to disprove. Yeah, and so even like I said, even in real time, you could hear him say the stuff, and then he denies it. Why did fucking David Anthony get so pissed? Like, that's the only real time David gets pissed, is when that happens. It was somewhat accurate, but to be honest, you can't prepare people for clowns of such magnitude. Okay, very accurate, really accurate. Yes, spot on, accurate, yes. I think I'm gonna go with Rain Simon's assessment. G-Man was so hurt when dude said he knows the Bible better than him. Oh yeah, no, that's one of his prides, but he actually doesn't. She believes she can post hoc inject decency into G-Man's unethical behavior because she viewed herself holier than thou. Yeah, did y'all notice that? And so when Faithful's going, look, you're having a fundraiser or charity or something for somebody, and then some other guy comes and says, hey, without contacting anybody, I just want the funds to go to me, and I'll just give it to them before they've contacted anyone. That is shady. It doesn't matter, but that's absolutely true. She was already ready to absolve him from any responsibility, any shadiness, because she says because G-Man talked to me, and so what? I'm sure thieves talk to a fucking bank before they fucking go rob it. Like, what does that matter? Does it like it's? But that shows you her blind spot. She's openly biased, right? Openly biased, and it's sad. But this, why do you think G-Man can call her up on a moment's notice? Because he already knows that her mind is made up. It doesn't actually matter what evidence is there. It doesn't matter that I had on the spot when I notice I referenced stuff and I could go to videos and show her. I already knew where to go. Even every time I mentioned something, I would have a video. Oh, listen to this. And you notice she shut the fuck up real quick on them cases. She shut the fuck up. Well, I didn't know. Of course you did. You didn't care. Evidence doesn't matter to you. It never did. I've known Christians like Cherry Latino version, not good. They make horrible mess of things. Of course, they want to be involved in it, but they don't possess the mental capacity to actually deal with any of it, nor the demeanor. She calls you a hood rat. That was why. Oh, that was funny. That I was like, ooh, man, some projection there. That was funny. I'm the furthest from that, but okay. Don't get me wrong. I had some words for her. Some people could read my lips when I was muted. I had some words for her, so I called her worse. I can promise you that. Started screaming. Oh yeah, the screaming. It's like that's why I call her a banshee. That's because that she can't actually have a civil conversation like an adult with people she disagrees with, unless there's like a handler there to control her. That's what it seems like. I could be wrong about that, but from what I've observed, from what I've experienced, she's just behaves like an animal. Uh, that was a scary good impression of her, was it? Uh, yeah, I need to look up that King Nebuchadnezzar thing. That was interesting. That was in. I've heard. Uh, I've heard different depictions of non-Christian folks being used by God. I've heard it referenced, but I'm not familiar with the stories. It wasn't something taught in Sunday school, unfortunately. I wish more stories were taught like that. I mean, live show 10 plus 3. What's going on, Josh and Jules? I don't know where you're from, but hello. There's I live in the Fifth Ward, Houston's Fifth Ward. No, I do not. You know that. You know that I don't. Has to do with Daniel. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not. I've not done any like the latest recreational reading that I've done is Rev's book. So, speaking of which, Shani's trying to find any allies that she can against me. So she's even contacted Steve on fucking Twitter. Trying to be mean. Steve's like, yay! I'm like, you guys are precious. You guys are precious. They never learn, but when you, what do you do, right? Uh, Dad taught me this. Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Jews, pulled down his trousers and pissed in on his shoes. Oh, that's lovely, Thallow Blue. That's a lovely story. Very lovely. Uh, Christian, my adult life, stand by my statement. What did you say, Wiser? What did you say? She and G-Man behaviors. I guess she and G-Man behaves. She and G-Man's behaviors are most often how Christians act. I don't know about that, man. I think people have. There's a mixed bag. I think your experience may vary. I think it's more of a demeanor and personality problem. Maybe it's just that those type of people are attracted to religion because it gives them an excuse to behave like that. But I don't think the genesis of those personality traits or flaws come from religion. But I don't think you're saying that. But that's how people end up taking it. I'll pretend to be your enemy to ruin their plan. Hey, do what you're gonna do, man. Vecco said you try to get his docs from his brother in a hangout. Is that true? No, no. His brother contacted me. So I heard about that last night because somebody telling me that Veckel claimed. Now, have y'all ever heard him say anything like that before tonight? You notice that that's something new. That's something new. Because when I would interact with him on his channel or G-Man's channel, I would ask him about, well, I heard some, you were doing some shady stuff with G-Man, so I had to protect myself. I said, like what? What do you have any evidence for? And I kept asking him that, right? But now his story is that I was trying to get personal information. What actually happened was I was on Veckel's Facebook because we were Facebook friends, and I would correct him and embarrass him in front of his family. And his brother added me. And his brother would call me randomly and start talking about their relationship and all a whole bunch of other stuff about their personal life. I've never needed Veckel's phone number. I've always been able to contact him on Skype. Matter of fact, Veckel's spoken to my mother. Well, Dragnauct, how did that happen? We were talking about family stuff because Veckel and I are more than likely related. And so, how was I able to do that? I didn't have his phone number. Maybe it was voice over IP program that I primarily used to contact these yahoos and not my personal phone. I've known G-Con, I don't know for how many years. The only time I had his phone number was after G-Man had shit on him and Faithful to God. That's that's where I got Faithful's number. But no, I would love to see some evidence that I'm trying to get his personal information. I don't need it. Like, he was Facebook friends with a few of my relatives, my like blood aunt. One of my closest aunt. Actually, the cousin that's a cop, Veckel's friends with his mother on Facebook. So I'm not sure what personal information I need from him, but this is Veckel. Veckel is a lot closer to G-Man than y'all think. Veckel will make up shit too. So if he has some evidence that I'm trying to get his docs or whatever he thinks is going on, I would like him to show people if I'm that type of guy. I don't know for what purpose, but if he thinks I'm that type of guy, then I bring his brother on and they can tell a story or whatever. I'm not friends with Veckel's brother anymore because, well, he kind of hates white people. And so I told him I'm not going to hate white people because you hate white people, dude. And so we parted ways. So have fun with that. I'm Christian. I would never act like that. Yeah, and that's the thing that's why when I do these reviews and G-Man says Christian, he's talking about these self-professed believers in Christ that are around him to enable him. That's what he's talking about. I don't include other rational people who aren't up his ass. Like, it's a very nuanced thing, believe it or not, that he's talking about. Cherry Playbook, yell, say G-Man did nothing wrong, blame Drag for G-Man losing his job, acknowledge evidence G-Man did not lose his job, continue blaming Drag for problems G-Man brings on himself. Yep, that's it. Is the anonymous group really interested in G-Man? Is it bad? It's, okay, so there's someone who is a part of the collective overall. I don't think is aware, not yet, but there is someone who will be amongst their ranks who is definitely interested and has been watching for quite some time. So that's all I'll say about that. Veckel is spineless. He's always been that way. He's always Veckel has seen a lot of what goes on, and he's been shown that he doesn't care, and so he'll absolve G-Man before Sister Cherry will. I noticed how little it took G-Man to dox someone who was just trying to explain his point, especially his brother in Christ, which shows how he treats someone of his faith. Yes, did y'all catch that? How many of y'all caught that? I said a soft dox, right? I'm friends with Faithful on Facebook, and his name. Well, most of his real name's up there, but his picture's up there now. He's coming out of the shadows. He's actually a pretty handsome looking dude. Just saying, but if you did not catch G-Man do that, it was an act of intimidation against his brother in Christ, and it shows a lot of restraint on Faithful's part as someone who just tried to dox him, and he reflexively called by his first name, but it's like that's what he does. That's what he can't stand being wrong. He can't stand when people aren't kissing his ass. So, but That's why he needs people like Veckel and Sister Cherry and Oneness and all these other fucking spineless people to support him and enable him. That's their job, is to encourage behavior like that, or to, if not encourage it, to overlook it. So this is a supposed believer in Christ. Yeah. Veckel last stream. Don't go in there, Sister Cherry. I beg you, don't go in there. Yep. Yep. And what did I do? I hid myself and I let them talk. You know. But Veckel is the Dragnauct Sith powers whole thing. Part of that comes from Veckel. If y'all didn't realize that. Part of that comes from him. Who do you think is in G-Man's ear, enabling that? Yep, I heard Veckel called me a snake last night. Why do y'all think he calls me that? Do you think that he's happy that Faithful and I are on very friendly terms? That I actually admire him as a man, as a YouTuber, as a Christian. The rapport that we have is actually really, really good. And Veckel doesn't like that. Veckel enjoys having this clear separation between people because in his mind, Christians and non-believers are stratified, which, you know what, I get that, a part of kind of like the Christian worldview, that there's people of the world and there's people, of the faith, and like I accept that, right? Of course, that's an in-group dynamic. But for Veckel, it's a tiered dynamic where you shouldn't sully yourself in the presence of these people unless you're just, trying to talk down to them. That's how Veckel thinks that you should interact with people. But Faithful's not like that, right? So you can have a separation, here and there, but no, it's that separation is not something that you're going to use as a cudgel, against another person. So there's a different mindset there, but that's because Veckel's insecure, incredibly insecure. G-Man's not intimidating you or misrepresenting the facts. He is a good Christian boy who was reminding his brother in Christ who is running the show and controlling the narrative here. Yep. Next time I chat with Veckel, I pull the Faithful to God card. Yeah, good luck with that. Drag used his mind powers to buy a mobster biz. Exactly. If all believers behave like Faithful last night, there would be very little to criticize about. And that's a really good point, Rain Salmon. That was a really good point. Now imagine if, like, the masses of Christians out there, they weren't like the NIFB, or they're not like Kent Hovind, they're not like, stuff like that. Imagine if more Christians behaved like Faithful, they wouldn't have a PR issue. Imagine that the Catholic Church had a fraction of the integrity that he has. Imagine, Catholics. But it's crazy. It's crazy. G-Man was hit hard last night. How he would respond? Like a maniac. We want more of this high quality banal content targeted to mentally handicapped. Love the new studio set. Reminds me of my trip to Large Hadron Collider. Right, Griffin? Right? Crazy. Jeez. I pulled the Faithful Guy card. How great American lobster best industry weigh in on this issue. Oh, stocks are high, man. Why would Veckel think like that? Makes no sense. When you are insecure and you need an in-group to kind of boost your ego, when you're not really that smart or that educated or have anything else really going for you, then you will kind of cloister yourself off. And this is just my armchair psychology, and from what I've experienced and talked to the dude, I think that it's a reflex. This is a reflex of protecting a network of people who he can garner some form of self-esteem from. It's the same reason why Veckel hangs around a lot of, kind of more right-leaning folks and spends a lot of his time denigrating black people. It's having this super Negro sort of mentality where he's better than other people. And that's why I enjoy talking to him about topics like that, because he doesn't actually know what the fuck he's talking about. And so, to give you an illustration, Veckel doesn't know why the South fought the war. I no, I'm not kidding. That's not an exaggeration. This is an admission, and if Holy Spackle's up, she'd tell you because she was there. I think Ronan Kanushi was there too. Evidently, Veckel doesn't know why the Confederacy was fighting the war. Figure that one out. But thinks he was being a bit dishonest. But either way, either dishonest or uneducated, I like that's really bad. Crazy. So I had a fun with G-Man yesterday. Oh man, that was crawfish bisque. It's not too bad. I've had crawfish bisque before. If I can't get lobster bisque, crawfish bisque work. I prefer crawfish etouffee, if I have to say so myself. I'll be defeated by the next video. Dragnauct, next video. There are always the next video. Yeah. The states' right, specifically states' right to allow people to own other people's property. Yeah. So that notion was expressed to him. So, well, I don't know. I had to look that up. And it's like, did you not go? Did you? At what point in your like social studies class did you not learn that? Every Black History Month, I guess you just put your head in the sand. Like I don't. It's amazing, right? It's amazing. I don't. Yeah, it's crazy. Jim Po' Boys, hell yeah, man. I need to go back to Lafayette and go to Old Time Grocery down the street from the school. The Confederate flag just makes him think of General Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, Wilson. Yeah, you were there. Yeah, it just makes me think of General Lee. Of course it does. Of course it does. You know, the good old boys. Fucking oh. But yeah, no, G-Man's not having a good day. Not having a good night. G-Man's so mad he might just steal $4,000 this time. Oh my God. Go to Baton Rouge, get mine from Family Restaurant there. Yeah, I hear there's a few good ones in Baton Rouge. I don't go there too often. I will say, American Nightmare, if you're going to be around that area, that's actually not the area. I'm going to be in Lake Charles on the 8th of next month. So somebody can, catch me outside. I'll be around there. There's going to be a Black Non-Believer Conference next January in New Orleans, and I'll probably meet up with Monty from Hannibal and Monty Shit Show. And if fucking Hannibal's around, actually no, Hannibal's in Atlanta. So yeah, I'll probably meet up with Monty there. I'm trying to get Nate to come with me to the conference. G-Man announced today's hangout will be for Vaughn and him to call out his haters. Oh, I also had a video. He also had a video he deleted that was named Faithful as a Liar. Yeah. And I didn't care to download that one. I'm hoping somebody did, because that is really telling. And it's going to be overlooked. G-Man's behavior last night, him, making videos, because Sherry was so concerned with Faithful coming on here and making Trish's look bad, but G-Man went on his whole channel just to go rail at Faithful again for some of the same bullshit, because he came on and lied. Oh no, I took down the videos, and but it's like, why didn't? But if you took them down, brought them back up, and someone brought this up last night, the dates would be updated, but the dates are still like from a year or two ago. So you didn't do anything to him, and he knows he didn't do anything to him. Shani lying low video game streams. I can't believe she doesn't feel compelled to chime in. She's been chiming in on Twitter. She's been active on that. She watches all this. Don't make, because y'all don't see her or Rev comment. They're watching this. They're watching all this. Don't presume that they're not. She tells on herself when she goes on Twitter and she references certain things. I mean, she's not that fucking smart. She didn't even graduate high school. She ain't that bright. But I shouldn't say that. There's a lot of people who don't graduate high school for various reasons. Hers because she's not that bright, but still. One text last night jumped a few to it. Drag, I just finished watching your hangout from last night. I'm glad Sister Cherry will finally see what's going on. Hope she actually watches the videos. Haven't watched G-Man's videos yet. Yeah, most of them are on Sabella's channel. If you type in G-Man Doxes, the one that has like 6,000 views on a channel called Laura, that's one of the main ones that people need to watch. I think I'll probably just play that. I'll just mirror it one day. She was saying that because we aren't a part of their community, we shouldn't be offering our thoughts and criticism. She's not even secret about wanting the tight seal in the echo chamber. Oh no, she's openly biased, absolutely openly biased, and that's why. And I get it, in group, out group thing. But if someone stabs a baby, right, it doesn't matter what the in group, out group dynamic is. Someone still stabbed a baby. But I'm going to say that the reason why there are abuses in families and in churches are from people like Sister Cherry. That's exactly why, because people like her cover it up. I'm just going to put that out there. Not to say that she's actually done that, but her mentality of keeping everything in house and not having transparency and integrity, that's how shit like that perpetuates and people get hurt. Come Nola in January, we can all hang out. All right, man. Yep. We'll be at the Black Non-Believer. I'll talk about this as it gets closer. High school dropout. Hey, you know what? Hey, some people do it because of violence. Some people do it because it works. Some people do it for different reasons. And I had to learn that when I joined the military. But then there are some people who are just fucking stupid. One of the dudes I served with just said, fuck it. He didn't have the right mentality because of shit that was going on in his life. And he went back, got a GED, joined the Army, became a combat medic. So I'm glad that I reevaluated that because I was judging people very, very harshly. But I know Shani's just dumb because even her own mother kind of verified that. And then it's Shani. She isn't going to see anything different in my opinion. Yeah, oh no, I agree. She's not. It's just a formality. Shane posted a video about last night's stream. Yeah, oh yeah, no, I know. It's I didn't see that, but she's watching all this. I graduated college and I'm a tanker. Yeah, see, even it's like tankers are dumb. How come G-Man's community tab has no post? Does that mean I'm blocked? No, I'm blocked, and he probably wiped it. Because you think about it, you think about something. Now Sister Cherry's gonna be looking at his shit, so he's trying to clean it up. Think about that. But luckily, some of us have already kind of shared some of it. But G-Man, I guess, forgot that people catalog his shit. But I told some of y'all this. There's a reason he stratifies his content like the way he does, because he knows that she doesn't look at that. He knows that the other people that would possibly hold him accountable, a lot of them don't even know about that channel. Like they don't even care. So he can go and be wild and do and say whatever he wants to on there and escape criticism. Most people can see that, but some of these people ain't that smart. I haven't watched G-Man's response videos to your hangout. I've seen the videos that Sabella has. He sure looked mad before he left your hangout last night. He was looking for an excuse to attack Faithful. That's all. He just wanted to come in and feel validated before he went on the attack. I mean, that's all it was. It didn't matter what was said to him. None of that mattered. Formality. I don't think many people have Faithful's patience in dealing with people. You know what? That's a good point. Very good point. Once that was a baby, then it's probably God's plan. Yeah, one of my best friends in high school dropped out. He owns his own business. Makes twice as much money as I do. Make a cop cider. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I had to reevaluate that. It. I think G-Man has too much free time and spends all his time alone. He needs to be around friends and keep him in check. And so, Floyd, before he tossed Hannah Zubby and Nate under the bus, those two people are who he would spend the most time around. And I'm not bullshitting. Like simple things like going to the movies and stuff like they would take his ass to the movies. They would pay for him to go to the movies, go out to eat, go ice skating, play basketball, all this stuff that they were doing with him because he doesn't have a church, like a physical church to go to, but that's by design. If he can do whatever he wants and still proclaim to be a Christian, then it's cool. Why have accountability? He knows that. He knows that if there are people in the church that are seeing this kind of stuff, they're like, that looks bad. He goes to our church. No, brother, no, we can't have that. But if you don't go to a church, there's no one in real life to keep you in check. You can just find allies online and call them Christian. And so the ones that don't keep you in check and absolve you, they get to stay Christian. The ones that do say something, well, guess they're not Christian anymore. See how that works? But, tell you what I said hi. Yeah, I'll put in a good word for you, soft-spoken Satan. I'm guessing without Vecco and True, G-Man's life is a lonely one. Yeah, and even with them, they're more like online allies. Like he's met up with Vecco in real life, and but Ken Jones was kind of his longtime running buddy in real life. So I think Ken Jones is not doing too well. Last I heard, so he's moving on to different things. Faithful is obviously a genuine Christian. No honest person could find fault with that man's behavior on the Hangout. Sounds nice. G-Man's behavior would drive people away from religion. Exactly, but that's why people. So in the early days of the YouTube great debate scene, that's why people use G-Man for their channel to grow. And that doesn't. I'm not precluding myself from that, by the way. Uh, a really good thing to do would just sit down and talk to G Man and say, this is why religion's dangerous. This is why all religion's poison. And he should just flip the fuck out. Like he would behave like you're seeing now, and then people would take the video and go, this is what Christianity really looks like. And then like Sister Cherry she would be perfect fodder. Like it was channel fodder. You would take this the screaming, yelling, and this is what religion does to people, but uh, y'all probably don't even realize, but there is a few Black Hebrew Israelites watching. There's a few of them actually watch my channel because they see my G-Man content, and they can't really use much because I'm not shitting on all Christians, but the stuff from Sister Cherry, the screaming and stuff like that, and the stuff that G-Man puts up, they use that as propaganda. They actually use that as propaganda. And that's one of the reasons I try not to really go, because I know that, right? Even though I was ready to go both barrels, and then let me acknowledge this again. There's some misogynistic words that I had, and I still have, but I have to control myself. I need to be a better person. So I know that they use shit like that for their propaganda, and I'm not cool with that. Me and Faithful absolutely disagreed on theological topics, but he and I definitely agree that we're no fans of the Black Hebrew Israelite nonsense. That's something that he and I, and most people, if you could, like, if you hear me explain different things about the Black Hebrew Israelites, who do y'all think was teaching me about it behind the scenes? Come on now. Like, who do you think was educating me on that kind of stuff so that I could then go and let other people know? But, all atheists hate Christians and all the other bullshit she was saying. Was last night the worst he's ever behaved? No, it was not. No, it's not. That's probably, maybe fourth or fifth on the list. The night that, the G-Man Dox's video, that night was probably the worst, if not the time he actually called 911 on me. Did that happen? Did that happen during it? Actually, I think that might have been the same night. Or was it different? It's been so long, I forgot. It might have actually happened that night. The outgroup homogeneity effects is the perception of the outgroup members as more similar to one another than the in-group members. They are alike, we are diverse. Yeah, but that's why generalization happens. All these people, but like it's about a good third of my audience are Christians, and they don't realize that. G-Man doesn't, because if you agree with Dragnauct and you don't absolve G-Man from responsibility, then you're not a Christian. See that? But that's how that works for him. Even though there's plenty of y'all out there who are pagan, who are Christian, and whatever. Is Sister Cherry the lady that favors the pink? No, that's fuck. What's her goddamn name? Leader for Christ. That's who you're thinking of. She another enabler. Who's the other one? Yeah, no, all the pink and stuff like that. That is Leader for Christ. The night he doxed people and the police call were two different. Okay, those are two different ones. Thank you. Yeah, they starting to blur together now. Funny how G-Man ignores the fact that Shane claims to be bisexual, but would take all his back for the same. Interesting. The same thing about the long hair. He's never said anything to true empiricism about his long hair. But you guys heard, and I'm glad he has a name for this now, that when G-Man looks over when other Christians do things, the Galaxy Dreams treatment. He will willingly and overtly say that he's just going to ignore anything and sacrifice his integrity. He's telling you he is not going to have integrity. And that doesn't bother these people. That, again, uh, it was amazing that the 911 call. I had trouble believing what I was seeing, but I was surprised that the cops didn't visit G-Man for abusing 911 lines. I mean, you have to do it a few times. You can't, I mean, just doing it once, I mean, that's, no. Rev Shannon and G-Man have taken their bad behaviors too far. I guess God has removed his protection. Now everyone notices their bad action and publicly comments on them. So it goes. Yeah, yeah. Oh no, trust me. There's some interesting people taking notice of Shanny, and I made sure that I repeat that Rev has also tried. No, Rev has called the cops on me, and I think that video may still be up. But there are some people who noticed that too, and I'm definitely not forgetting that. Since he thought that that was a cool move, I'm definitely going to remember that. Oh, so Tangelo. Oh, you can go eat a dick, Tangelo. I don't feel like talking to you today. I'm always an hour late. Shape Shifting Monkey, man. You're always late. I don't know why. Lita, Leeta, Lita for Christ. Oh, that reminds me. So we saw quite a few G-Man dick suckers in the chat. We saw Veckel, we saw Oneness. There was one other person, I can't remember, but there was also, y'all seen this guy, DLC for Christ. And I always want to point out and address them because there's a test to see whether they'll acknowledge their bullshit. DLC is another enabler. He's fairly new. I'd say new to us, but he's been around for a while, like a while. And so I said, DLC is interesting. I've seen you in the chats where G-Man's been saying some of this crazy stuff. He doesn't know I'm there, but I see him. I said, I know that you've seen and heard some of the stuff that he said because you've referenced it later. And other people have seen you. Why haven't you publicly said anything to G-Man about some of the shit, some of the threats, and some of this other stuff? And that's why I screen shared his response. It's like, you know what, you're right. I haven't said anything. I usually catch it after the fact, but I haven't said anything to him. I was going to, yada, yada, yada. So I have to acknowledge that at least DLC for Christ had the temerity to acknowledge that he too was enabling G-Man to some degree. Or at least somewhat complicit in what was going on. But now, while I give him credit for acknowledging it, now it's going to be up to him to decide what he wants to do with that information. Because he saw he was sitting in the chat, so he saw the video. He sees that G-Man's lying about losing his job. He saw that. He's seen the other videos that Faithful to God was referencing. So is he going to confront G-Man? And then is G-Man going to excommunicate him from the cult of G-Man? I'm going to see. I'm curious. Does he call you Dragnauct because he nuts to you when you're sure? Oh, thank you, Mutable. I appreciate that. Nasty bitch. He even needs to be your lab assistant. No, thank you. Is that attempt at doxing and Tanzil? No, that's I have him on Facebook under my real name, and he's butchered my real name when he called Atheist Experience. I'm thinking of joining G-Man's side, take over Drag Stranglehold, the internet's Jedi power. Hey, go for it. You gotta balance the force somehow. Gotta balance the force. It's crazy. All this is absolutely crazy. It's nuts. But I'd rather than me just say stuff, rather than y'all hear my perspective, I'd rather you watch for yourself and see it, because I can say anything. I could literally say anything, but watching people in real time make excuses for G-Man's behavior, and then when you ask them about it, go, yeah, well, but then some of these same people are telling you how to live your life. I love it. Must have mentioned your name, made me laugh a bit. Yeah, oh, my real name, yeah. Oh, yeah, I have an old man name. Cage Rat, Leader for Christ, spoke his wife, the one that resembles an animal more. Terry seemed really quiet, subdued after hearing G-Man take that call from the business was supposedly fired from. I think she had maybe a mini watershed moment when she realized G-Man had been lying to her, because that was proof positive that he had been lying. Proof positive. But I'll tell you what. Let me read. When I think about his name, it sounds like one of those serial killers from the 70s. Yeah. So now, if you're fired, you shouldn't be answering the phone, right? That you shouldn't be. But I said this during the stream, and this is going to be missed in the future, and I'm calling it right now. What do you think of the chances? How, like, if you had to guess, what would be the the chances out of 10,000 that just so happen to do a live call in real time, because that hangout was live, and know that he was working? How do you think that we knew that? One thing, how do you think we found out he was lying? And how do you think that we knew that he was currently at the job? Now think about the chances of that. And there's a reason we went live doing it, so people could see it in real time and not just have a recording of it. How do you think we knew that? I'd already told G-Man there are people who watch this stuff that live near him, that know where he worked, because he's doxed himself 50 times. So why he would lie about something like that is beyond me. But Ben knew that. He was known for a while. So even with that in mind, you're going to hear G-Man give some lame excuse, just like he did recently with Oneness about the threat of physical violence. He's going to repeat the lie and say, oh, those evil atheists, and she's going to absolve him from responsibility. Everything else doesn't matter. She's going to stamp her feet and close her eyes and ears, and that's going to be the end of it. And she's going to continue to lie. Watch what I say. It may seem like proof positive, but she seemed like she's already trying to find a reason not to. Yeah, Melissa, exactly. I don't answer the phone when I'm fired. Again, right? I was skeptical, but she'll watch the videos. Hangout last night was crazy. Yep. You had boots on the ground, didn't you? Yes. Yep. If y'all watched the Geek Room and y'all heard from Odd Talk, also known as EM, she lives in his area. She's seen him working. And I've told him that before, but he's still the reflex for him to lie, I think, is a little bit too strong, and he forgets that stuff. She lives in his area. He knew because of mind control. Exactly. I bet he has worked himself half to death trying to do damage control. Oh, yeah. I think Cherry Love could explode into violence if you just interrupt her too much. Yeah. Not a lot of self-control there. Not a lot. But yeah, I mean, that's not the first time G-Man has been caught lying about that at all. Not the first time. Again, chances of just so happen to go live and show everyone the current time and date. And then later he makes a video. Well, I just got hired back. No, you didn't. No, you didn't, motherfucker. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh, I just came back today. Really? Then how was I able to verify 3 days prior that you were still working? I didn't say that live. Didn't make any videos about it. Obviously, that would tip you off. But that's fine. Anyway. Cherry and Darth Dawkins, yeah, could yell at each other. Guys, you're forgetting G-Man could have been volunteering. He was working. Oh, yeah, he was. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was volunteering. Yeah. Just because G-Man answered doesn't mean he wasn't fired. He obviously was fired because later, after taking people's calls, people's money was brought back in as a teleworking contractor answering calls. Oh, never mind. He checked inventory. Whoops. To Believe is a great name for a YouTube channel. Reason not to believe. Yeah. Drag, does your son ever express interest in YouTube content? Yes, but I tell him that it's not for him. It's not for kids. Not for kids. Not for kids. Let's see. It is interesting. All of it. I know I say that a lot. It's all interesting. Everything's interesting. Everything's fascinating. Everything's a wonder. But, oh man, there was something else I was going to say. I will say I'm very fortunate to have the counterbalance of faithful to God, and I'll leave out G-Con too. Um, if y'all, so when I did uh, the two was it two videos, two or three videos I did about G-Man getting kicked out of Shield Squad and going over that saga, and you guys heard from G-Con the kind of stuff that G-Man would do. You have to take this all into account because what y'all saw last night was like the fallout from that, and uh, there was a deal that the content that was like a mar against G-Man's character would be taken down, but since then, G-Con not really part of that collective anymore. He's doing his own thing, and he's been on relatively friendly terms with G-Man, but he keeps him at arm's length, from what I understand. So for me, G-Man sees that as an opportunity to curry favor with G-Con. And actually, that video that I showed, G-Con and Shield Squad, that's one of the it's weird because he talks about divide and conquer when G-Con had mentioned that there's a rift between him and others. But more it was like a more of a theological issue with little hints of other personal issues too, which happens. I mean, happens with me. G-Man saw that as an opportunity to curry favor, and he definitely he plays the field and does that himself. Which again, a little bit ironic given the whole divide and conquer thing he likes to talk about. I seem like a good man. Looks can be deceiving. Uh, Sorry, I was watching the casket crossing at Edmund Pettus Bridge. Big shout out to Mr. D for the support when dealing with Sister Cherry. That shit show. Yeah, uh, I was getting heated. G Con and G Consciousness. He was one of the guys that had announced that G Man was out of Shield Squad, uh, and because of his behavior, and G Man went and railed against him. G Con a little bit more accessible than Faithful. G Con's not the type of dude that you yell at. I've met G Con in person. He and I sat down. We broke bread. He bought me and my wife dinner, and we sat down and we discussed like adults um, our differences and where our goals in life kind of align. And he and I disagree on a lot of things. Obviously, theology. There's some stuff like vaccines and stuff like that we disagree on, but he's not a bad dude. I think that he gets very bullheaded. I think that's just kind of he's a St. Louis boy, so that's kind of like one of their traits and yeah, I'm stereotyping guys from St. Louis. They're really strong, strong-willed, really bullheaded, and I think that sometimes to his detriment, and I think sometimes he knows that. But that's just me giving my personal impression of sometimes what happened with him. But he's able to kind of come back once he calms down. Nothing major, but when he sees a goal, he works towards it. And sometimes, if people who are along the way aren't moving towards that goal in the fashion that he thinks is the most efficacious, then you know what, you gotta let him go. So but he's like that to a flaw. So I bet G-Man would be a lot happier if Sugar Daddy was taking care of her. Floyd, you fucked up for that. Why did G-Man think it was okay to wake up Sister Cherry at 2 a.m.? I mean, he's a man, and she's just a woman. We all know his usual feelings about the topic because she's a useful tool in him fighting people. That's why. He knew that she would react this way because she'd take her titty out, metaphorically, take the titty out and put it in his mouth. That's why. Because think about this: if you contacted a sane person on the internet, and at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's not like a medical emergency, they would say you need to go to bed. We'll talk about this in the morning. That's what a sane person would do, right? Unless there was like a crisis of faith, I'm about to walk away from God, I need help, or I'm about to commit suicide, something like that. Like that's the stuff that you stay up for. Even a Christian, yeah, that's pretty serious. But hey, I need you to help fight my internet battles. And of course, she came up and was fighting his fucking internet battles. right? That's what an enabler does. That's what an enabler does. None of it. This stuff could have waited. That whole section of hangout could have waited to happen in private. Think about that for a second. There was nothing dire. She could have said, "You need to take your ass to bed. You need to go to bed. We'll talk about this in the morning." That could have waited. Don't make no videos. Don't mention his name. Us three will sit down and talk later, tomorrow when I get up. Yeah, after church. But what did she do? She came in and started defending G-Man. Started yelling and cussing at people. Not cussing, you can't cuss. Yelling and screaming at people. But that's why. Because she is a weapon for him. She is an enabler for him. She's an absolver. That's why he could call her. And he knew that. And it worked, right? If that wasn't her role, why did she come in and behave the way she did? There was nothing that couldn't have waited the next morning. But he knew what she would do. In the last stream, are you gonna lay out G-Man for a while? That's contingent upon him publicly and overtly saying that he's gonna, stop shitting on atheists and evolutionists and shit like that. So I'm not changing anything that I do until we get something from him. And no, there are no conditions, from G-Man. Oh, you need no. He needs to open his mouth and be a man. So I'm not holding up no end of no deal that don't exist. It's to Delivered from St. Luke. Yeah, oh yeah. I know you're talking about Mr. Delivered. I am delivered. Does G-Man have a bit of a sugar mommy with Shani? Yeah, right now he does. Oh, hog type, man. Yeah. I was trying to get you in, but it only holds 10 people. She thinks men are supposed to take care of women. Why does he call mommy Cherry? Good question. Says the Cherry could get mad as G-Man. She gets at you, he'd be in real trouble. I don't even think he could handle that. No, and I don't think that she will. She's too busy babying him. I caught it live when G-Man had come and gone. I thought, well, that was high water mark for crazy. Nope, bring in Sister Sherry, kick up the crazy, the nuts. Yeah, Ken Jones. Last I heard from Ken, this is a while ago, that he was having ailing health, but I mean it's kind of inevitable given his size, So I don't know. I haven't reached out to him. He and I've talked to Surreal. He and I were in a Facebook chat group together against the Black Hebrew Israelites. Don't tell anybody, but I don't think he had heard from Ken Jones because he had separated himself from this community to work on that more. Didn't G-Man say you're going to be dead today? Yeah, amazing. Magic 8 Ball says not likely. All right, I'll be right back. I'm gonna blow my nose and piss. I need some water. Oh. Got a little early morning congestion going on. This, believe it or not, I have always wanted a recliner, and I'm trying to remember why. It's I've always wanted just to kind of lay back, have a nice, big, comfortable recliner that I can sleep on. And my father-in-law actually bought one for me before we moved away, and so I really enjoy this recliner. This is one of my favorite places to sit. So yes, I was up taking a piss and getting water. Did y'all notice that anytime Faithful brought up something like some skullduggery that G-Man would do, Sister Cherry's reflex was to say, "Well, you both have sinned. Everybody's done something. You know, he who is without sin cast the first stone." And I'm like, he's actively doing and saying things now. Like her reflex was to defend and minimize. Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. Cool. So the stream last night that G-Man thinks is gone, and it's currently being uploaded. So good looking out. Good looking out. So there's confirmation that we got that stream. So that was if there was a if there was a time to point out the enabling, there was a few times that I noticed, and that was one where she brought that verse because I remember that distinctly. And so while I was being quiet, or I should say while I was muted, I was like, okay, let me sit back and challenge myself because I already have this negative impression. And when y'all see me, I'm just kind of like, I have my arms crossed. I'm just kind of just waiting. There's something I want to say, and my posture probably shows it. But I'm thinking to myself, and so y'all get to hear the inner monologue here. This person is full of shit. I know that. But I could be wrong. Because of my previous experiences, I am probably sullying her image and simply looking at this and being quite partial. I do think that there are quite a few things that she hasn't seen, and I can't say all of it was because of willful ignorance. But from what I'm hearing, Faithful was bringing up specific things. Let me see how she responds to direct instances of G-Man's bullshit. Because someone who, I just thought about something, someone who is interested in being impartial, which I presumably she is, would not minimize what G-Man did, would not try to outright debunk it right then and there. They would take it on board and acknowledge it without reservation. Right? That's what someone who's being objective and impartial would try to do. Right? So let me check that against like her response. And of course that's not what she did at all. In any time. At any point until I showed her receipts and she couldn't come up with a fucking Bible verse or some other bullshit, she doesn't have a defense for his behavior. Because she was already ready to defend. And I was like, it makes sense now why he can continue to do this. She's protecting him. He can do whatever he wants. She doesn't actually care. Because, and here's why. If the person who is being impacted by G-Man's behavior is saying that this is wrong, and this is the way in my time of need that I'm feeling, I'm distraught, and you prioritize his words over what's actually happening to me, that shows me that you're protecting him. Because she knew that G-Man didn't have his fucking number. She knew that. G-Man had to get it from Sister Cherry. She knew that. But the bullshit that G-Man tells her is more important than the reality of the situation that Faithful's describing. And I picked up on that. That was one of the first times I was like, yep, there it is. I see what's wrong with this dynamic. She's doing and saying whatever she can to protect G-Man. It doesn't matter what Faithful's actually saying. It doesn't matter what the actual state of affairs are. It doesn't matter that he overtly stated that the GoFundMe was fraudulent, because that video was posted after he had gotten done talking to Sister Cherry, because he mentions her. But she didn't see that video. I don't watch atheist videos. That wasn't an atheist video, you fucking genius. At all. It doesn't even have atheist in the title. It has Faithful to God's Name in the title. That's on his main channel that y'all all watch, supposedly. Real weird. Real fucking weird. Sister Cherry forgets something. When I was reviewing some of her videos, Sister Cherry had mentioned a few things that she had seen. So when she tells me what she hadn't seen now, oh, that's going to be fun, comparing what she has mentioned that she is cognizant of and to what she supposedly hasn't seen now. Because now I'm going to go back to that. Remember when I was doing, I think it might have been part 3 or 4. Actually, no, I think it might have been it was part 1 or 2, where I showed y'all Sister Cherry and him and G-Man were in a hangout. And she's railing against me, well, Dragnauct, you need to stay out of it. This shit, you know, all that bullshit. I'm going to go back and listen to that, because there was something that she had mentioned. I was like, how does she know about that unless she's watching his channel? That's weird. That's weird. So I'm going to go back and listen to that, because I'm just now remembering that, because now she's claiming ignorance, which I think she is lying. I absolutely think that she's lying to some degree. I don't think she's seen it all, by no means, but I think she is lying, because there was something specific that I can't. It was something. And I was like, wow, she knows about that. Why didn't she say anything to? So that's all right. But y'all know me. I'm all about receipts, not about, you know, maybe I'm misremembering something or miss that and other and hearsay and all that bullshit. I'm about receipts. I'm about receipts. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. I think there's bullshit afoot. How close was she to crying after you show her the video threatening with your mallet? She sounded a little. I couldn't see her, but she sounded a little taken aback. I don't know if she was actually crying. I have no idea. It seems like okay, dude. Though he is absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. He's an okay, dude. Absolutely. But I've not seen much of Sister Cherry Love. I'm genuinely surprised at the depth of insanity of her hatred, intensity of her hatred. Yeah. Oh yeah. That hatred is projected upon other people. You can listen to how she talks about other people. It's a deep hatred. Sometimes I even forget. And people who claim to be followers of Christ and all this, that, and the other, they have stuff that's wrong with them, severely wrong with them. But what else I was gonna say? Yeah, so every single time Faithful had a specific example of shit G-Man would do, her instinct was to minimize it. She's not gonna say, you know what? Thank you for letting me know about that. We're gonna handle it. Fall back. I'm gonna handle that. There was no acknowledgement of the problem. There was, well, we've all done something. So what did Faithful do that was comparable to G-Man diverting funds away from a GoFundMe and into his personal PayPal? And some of y'all caught that G-Man told her afterwards, well, I had the purest of intentions. It doesn't fucking matter. Are you kidding me? And it was still wrong. But that's the problem right there. And of course she doesn't see that. Of course she doesn't see that. But it makes sense. This sort of fractured and broken mind trying to rationalize. Like someone said, like post hoc rationalization. Trying to rationalize it. But that's why G-Man is allowed to do and say the stuff that he is. Because of enablers. Because of coddlers. And if y'all looked in the side chat, I see one of G-Man's main enablers, Veckel. He's seen all this. Veckel's been shown all of it. Sabell's contacted him. He's been watching. He participated in some of it. Did y'all notice what Veckel was saying the entire time? Did y'all pick up on that? He was concerned with the stigma surrounding Faithful to God as the fruit inspector. The impression that some of the other people in their circle have of Faithful commenting on their behavior. That's bad. You shouldn't be a fruit inspector. Somebody that has maybe a little bit too much integrity. They speak out a little bit too often about people's behavior. That's what Beckel's concern was. You need to quiet that down. You speaking out against other Christians who are doing fucked up things. You shouldn't be doing that. Tells you a little bit about Beckel, doesn't it? Tells you quite a bit about him. That's why I let him talk. That's why I let him say whatever he wants. Because I can say whatever I want about people, right? Oh, it's dry, big old atheist, meanie poopy head, yada yada. But I believe in letting people dig their own hole. Let oneness, Rothadosh, whatever the fuck his name is. Name's probably Kevin or some shit, I don't know. But let him talk. And you'll slowly see yourself what it is that's wrong with him. Oh, crawfish. I love crawfish, crawdaddies, yeah. How you doing? What's going on? I will eat you. Crawdaddies. Is that where G-Man gets his minimization tactic? Yeah, more than likely, yeah. Yeah, Veckel can't apologize for him threatening violence. Veckel will absolve him. Well, you atheists have done stuff to him. So if some random atheist is saying crazy shit to G-Man, that it makes it okay for him to threaten me and my family? That doesn't make sense. Veckel said shit like that before. You atheists. Well, look here, stuttering Jim. That makes no sense. And that tells me, according to atheists, everything is subjective, arbitrary, subjective. Okay, Veckel, thank you for your charitable contributions to the conversation. Dragnauct, remember when G-Man was mad? Shani gave you a super chat. You're showing the body cam footage Shani was arrested? Yeah. Yep. Interesting that. It's funny because the body cam footage shows that Rev and Shani both lying about shit. Like a lot of shit, but, receipts are bad. Faithful 100% in his description of Matthew 18, how to deal with someone who trespasses against you. He was spot on with the explanation of how many people twist it to mean high problems. Yeah, but that is exactly what Sister Cherry and Veckel and others use it for. That is exactly what they use it for. Let me say it again. That is exactly what they use it for. Oh, we shouldn't even be talking about this around atheists. Why is G-Man making these videos against Faithful to God and other Christians? Did G-Man go up to David Weisler before he excoriated him on his channel? You go to him in private? No. It's only acceptable when you want to be acceptable. Like I said, this is the type of people who are using religion to absolve themselves from any responsibility. That's the type of people that we're dealing with. And it's sad. Because you know that I remember when Faithful was describing, hey, I tried that. Hey, we tried that. You notice that Sister Cherry wasn't willing to acknowledge that. At all. Was not trying to hear that. Her job and her goal was to coddle G-Man and enable his behavior. She was not trying to hear that. Because even she acknowledged that all this stuff had transpired before. All the stuff that he was referencing, she was around for that. She knows that he was approached privately. I knew that. When it was happening. Conveniently, she forgot. But I tell y'all what, do y'all think that support the proper usage of Matthew 18, the whole shunning part? Do y'all think that Sister Cherry was willing to do that? Because that's a big part. That's a big part of that. Do you think she's willing to actually do that? No, no. Somebody was asking, Drake, why do they seem to be up G Man's ass like this? What weird power? So the issue is, there's only a certain amount of people, Christians, who are dedicated, like really dedicated, to tackling the Black Hebrew Israelites. It's a fairly insular group itself, and an even smaller sub segment of Christians, specifically like mostly minority Christians, deal with it because it doesn't happen in the upper crust of society. It's not a big issue, So you're talking about taking one of your soldiers from the battlefield where you're already working with a skeleton crew. It's G-Man is somewhat useful in that effort in their minds. He's a soldier in a good fight. So they're willing to look past him threatening people, doxing people, all that stuff. They're willing to look past it because they don't want to they don't have their manpower suffer, That's what it is. That's what it is at the end of the day. It's sad because that shows that you lack integrity, but it is, at the end of the day, my favorite. Interesting. It's interesting. Sad. G-Man gets really, really upset when any white women say they like and respect you, Drag. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess maybe he wants to white. I don't know what it is him and between white women and big burly dudes who want his booty. Some weird sort of. I don't know. Maybe there needs to be like a light skinned trans person to wet his whistle. I don't know. We can see if we can get that going. How effective G-Man been against? Now that's something that I have asked. From what I understood at one point, that he just adds fodder to their propaganda. But I've been told that he has been at least somewhat effective against them. So there's whatever it is that he's doing on the streets and on his channel has helped to some degree disabuse people of some of these beliefs. So I would be remiss if I did not. And again, I'm taking this on faith, So that's my understanding. That's my understanding. Cherry had empirical video evidence of G-Man's little behavior, and she still ignored all of it. I highly doubt she would even open the email and playlist G-Man threats. Yeah, I think she'll skim through it. She'll probably skim through it. She's not going to sit there and listen to him do all that. I don't think so. Will Faithful excuse Cherry when she absolved G-Man everything? I don't know. I don't know. I think that they're going to maintain a relationship regardless. But that's one thing that's not my call. It would be hard for me because to me that shows that she doesn't have integrity. To me, again, that's me putting myself in his shoes. She's already shown that she's not a person of high integrity at all, and so to continue to absolve and in the face of demonstrable evidence shows that she doesn't really care. At the end of the day, it's all about the in group, out group. One second. He was going to throw Sister Cherry under the bus when he first broke up with Shield Squad. Yes, actually, yes, she was one of the people named. Yeah, that to me is interesting because if it's that easy for you to throw me under a bus like that, that's a sign for me in my head to go, you're not trustworthy. If that's all that it takes is somebody else doing something, you just throw me in there too, even though you don't have any evidence for it. No. But there's some weird aversion that she has to actually holding him accountable and having him be a man. So it's strange, but and I hate to mention this. That whole stereotype of the they call it didn't do's, didn't do nothing. That whole thing. If you know what that is, she represents that stereotype to a T. Absolutely to a T. And again, I hate to mention that, but that's what she reminds me of. And that's a painful thing to acknowledge. That's painful. So, but that, I've said this before. I've said when I'm describing the differences in how G Man uses the word friend and this, that, and the other. When G Man talks about a friend that he has on the internet, or you know, which coincides with who he considers a Christian, these are people who have low integrity, very low integrity, and he can depend on to use them as a cudgel at some point. But it'd be closer to ally, because you can have low integrity and be someone's ally. I think that's a more accurate depiction. I have to wonder what Cherry Vecco and Oneness have going on in their lives and make them blindly love ignorant, malevolent, egotistical toddler like G-Man. Hate, ignorance, insecurity. I mean, it's a common thread. Common thread. Not a lot of education. Not a lot of integrity. Just, I mean, that's, again, this is my personal impression from my experiences dealing with them. I may be wrong about that. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my personal impression. Uh, because all the people named love giving assessments about people and their lives and their dispositions. Good, so do I. I'm usually pretty accurate, though. Pretty fucking accurate. Uh, Man, 'cause, I had to catch myself. I had to catch myself a few times, and because I could feel it. I was like, no, 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 and usually I'm pretty good at kind of controlling myself, but just in the face of just blatant ignorance, and then being reminded of, wow, she really reminds me of my old roommate, Cabrina. Just the level of ignorance and loud ghetto-ness and all that shit. Um, that struck a nerve. I was like, God damn, man. I was like, how, deja vu. What the fuck's going on here? But it tests my fucking patience, and that's not the type of thing that I. You know what? She gets a free pass on that one. Gets a free pass. Next time, it's not gonna be like that. Next time, you're not gonna come up in my domain demanding that nobody better not say nothing to you. You know, that's too much. That's too much. Hope that the Cherry takes an honest Christian approach. I can't see. Uh, I hope Sister Cherry takes an honest Christian approach to G-Man's behavior, just as Faithful did. I hope she's not like a certain mom who purposely overlooks lies and hatefulness. Ooh. 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 Last night was crazy. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I found a vet who specializes in reptiles.
Oh, cool.
She has an appointment at 3:30.
3:30? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. We'll take. Oh, do we still have the Crunchyroll activated?
About that, I'll talk about that.
Okay, because I just thought about that. Somebody's asking them. Crunchyroll.
No, that account was hacked.
Okay,
So,
all right.
Sorry.
Okay,
I don't have an account.
all right. Let them. Oh, people saying good morning to you. Uh, I just thought about that. Yes. So Crunchyroll's good. Crunchyroll's definitely good. I was watching Deers. Actually, it's funny. Last time me and Faithful were talking, we were talking about anime we were watching. And it was, oh man, I forgot to write it down. God damn. I forgot to write it down. There was an anime he was telling me about, and I forgot it. Shit. That's okay. I have his phone number, so I just call him. Crunchyroll. I thought Crunchyroll now together with Hulu. Is it? Is it? Yeah, I like Crunchyroll. There's a lot of old school anime that's on there too. There's a version, one of the original versions of not Rowan Kenshin. Tenchi Muyo. The original version where Ryoko was a demon inside a shrine. That type of beginning, and you can no longer find that version at all. That's the version I watched when I was a kid. It no longer exists. If you're an anime fan, go and try and find it. I guarantee you won't be able to find it. Are you not talking about food? No, I'm talking about anime stuff. Anime streaming site. It's hypocrisy that makes you laugh when you look at after Mrs. D's child, and you're a bum. When Vecco does it, he's a loving parent. Yeah. Oh no, the G-Man's full of that. Full of so it's okay that Vaughn doesn't have a job because he's disabled. But if I use my disability money, then that's bad. I'm like, really? So Vaughn can't get a job working at somebody's desk, but I can't. Like, I don't. But of course, we found out that G-Man doesn't understand disability. Like because Vaughn, being the idiot that he is. Let me make something clear. Vaughn didn't actually serve in the military. He's a fucking washout. Okay, let me make that abundantly clear. David Weiser served. I believe his brother Mark served. Some of the fucking tankers in the chat, y'all serve. You serve terribly, but you serve. I serve. Like, Vaughn's a washout, right? He doesn't actually get to speak on what it's like to be a soldier, a sailor, an airman, none of that shit. So Vaughn needs to shut the fuck up on that one. Period. Anime Tube when Xbox has it. There's carnivorous. Like, there's no way they have that version. There's no fucking way. That specific. There's a few versions of the original Tenchi Muyo, but it's specifically the one where Ryoko is trapped in the statue. This is not the one where she comes from space and she does a crash landing and the cop is trying to chase her in the Mac. Not that one. The original one. You cannot find that one. Be right back. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go check that out. What did you say? It was on Xbox? Let me see. Where's Carnivorous 8? Anime Tube on Xbox. Okay, I'm gonna check that out then. Because I for the life of me can't find that one. Congrats, yesterday was epic. Look, yesterday was not planned. That's nothing. I had no idea Faithful was even fucking watching at all. Like, occasionally, I know what he does, and so his schedule is kind of it's inopportune to really be paying attention to any of the shit that I do. Right? He might catch it afterwards, maybe if it interests him, whatever. I know, like, he watches my channel occasionally. I had no idea he was watching, and so I got a message from him. He's like, "Hey, let me." I was like, "Oh, all right," and that's why I was like, "All right, folks, we're gonna have a special guest." So, had no idea that was going to happen. That took me by surprise. So I was like, "Yep, that's interesting." Even Drag shares fat. Right, in Norway, mandatory 1 year for serving for male and females. Had many mental health problems, so I didn't need to serve at all. Hey, man, if you got issues that out of your control, you can't serve. You can't serve, man. It is what it is. You know, Danish. Atlantic on fishing inspection ship. Oof, have fun with that. Uh, when I spent an entire day. We were in Discord talking about trying to find this one version of Tenchi Muyo. I could not find it. So Hulu has it. Okay, we have Hulu. I'm gonna go find it then. I'm gonna find it because we definitely have Hulu and we have Netflix. Uh, who is this David guy that's in the stream? Like he sounds like okay. So David Anthony. So it's David Anthony Weiser. I usually call him Mr. Weiser. He and I have had an interesting relationship. What I like about David is that David will sometimes be on the wrong side of stuff, and I'll go in on him, and then he usually ends up getting pretty pissed because, well, I'm mean, and I say shit to piss people off. And so David will respond like, "Oh, fuck you, Dre." It's always funny, right? And then he'll like, you know what? You overreacted. I shouldn't have said that. That was dumb. And then David's fine. Like that's for whatever reason, and I think it's because David's Marine East crayons. But no, it's one of those. David is one of those guys who has these really interesting quirks about his personality. That he's not a bad guy. He's really not. Again, he and I have disagreed and been opposite. I made videos, about him, but David has a really big sore spot for people who like disrespect vets and just tarnish military service and stuff like that. And I think that's why people see him react the way that he did. And cause I don't blame David at all. I don't, because you have somebody like G-Man who minimizes it because he couldn't serve. Veckel too weak to serve. It's like Vaughn couldn't fucking do it because he's Vaughn, right? He's too fucking weak. And again, that's not, hey, I have a existing mental illness and I can't. No, they could physically and mentally do it, but they're too weak. So I watched it again a few months ago. Everyone loved one Tenshu, and they're all related. Ew. Let's see. Get my weight down the joint. I got a 98 on my ASVAB. That's pretty good, man. Get in. No, years doing PT with a recruiter. Yeah, I'm right there. I'm one of those guys who obviously I struggle with weight. Even when I was in, I struggled with weight because I love to eat. But then I do intermittent fasting, and then I work out 3 times a day, while other guys could eat what they want and worked out barely any, and it seemed like it's crazy. Say what you want about G-Man. At least he hasn't defiled himself with a woman. Really, Floyd? Really, Floyd? The fuck? What did Tata just... Tata said, I am stating that I am in love with you all. In a different world, I could be with you all. What the... Okay. Tata's gone gay. All right. The fuck? Ryoki? No, it may be that version. I'd have to look it up. I don't know. I was gonna say the conversations that. So let me be very, very, very frank. G-Man and his enablers don't like the fact that me and Faithful get along, have really good rapport. Our conversations go as such. Our kind of past experiences with the Clown Car Posse and stuff like that. A little bit of science talk because of sort of what he wants to tackle with Black Hebrew Israelites. By like a huge chunk of it is just us kind of discussing. Well, less discussing him mentioning biblical verses and the context, and me learning a lot about the Bible. I can't even call it a discussion because I'm usually just kind of like, oh shit, okay, looking that up, and that sort of thing. And us kind of talking about our culture because he's Hispanic and obviously black, and so we talk about that, and then we talk about like anime that we're watching or need to watch and stuff like that. And so it's like the conversation runs the gamut of a lot of interesting topics, and so that's why we end up talking for over an hour, and it's interesting that I've known Faithful for a fraction of the time that I've known Feckle or G-Man or some of these other cats. But I've learned more about the Bible from our phone conversation than I have ever dealing with any of them. Isn't that amazing? Just saying. I've gained an appreciation for the Bible talking to Faithful God. As much as G-Man seemed to avoid women, you'd think that he had done better in arm wrestling match. Oh man. Let's see. Faithful demonstrated both integrity and emotional intelligence. He diplomatically gave Sherry every chance to evaluate the evidence and do the honorable thing without any emotional coercion. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she showed that she was more interested in absolving G-Man and minimizing it. G-Man got pretty salty in his first stream where I pointed out how envious he is of you. Oh, yeah, don't do that. He gets really mad. He tried to play it off as just entertainment. Of course he did. Chimu GXP, Chimuyo, GXP. Oh yeah, those are all the different like versions of shit. That's what's hard to keep track of. I just know what happens in some of them. Is that the one? Oh, okay, I see the link, Sabella. Thank you. I think that's the one you're after. Is it? Your brain makes you a dangerous opponent. Only stupid doesn't acknowledge that. There are sorts of torrents. It's horrible stuff. Allegedly torrents. Supposedly. Allegedly. But, uh-oh. Is that an emu? Chicken, what is that? Oh boy. G Podcast Rogue, the Word of God versus Faithful to God, Matthew. So remember when, they were talking about doing the, keeping stuff in house and not making a show, on the internet. I guess it doesn't apply to G-Man. How weird, huh? Let's see if this gets stopped. This will be a very thorough Bible study with 3 goals. First goal, to show why Faithful to God was not being biblical in his so-called correction. And he didn't say that. He explicitly said that he wasn't trying to correct, but, whatever. To educate the saints about how to correct and rebuke those in the body of Christ. To show Faithful to God that God is not using multiple atheists, to expose or judge me. I will not offer Faithful to God link to join. I will not act like I did yesterday in righteous anger, because it wasn't him being childish and immature. It was righteous anger. Remember that. Let's see who repeats that. I will do this the way Christ and the apostles taught in the scripture. I will give a link to anyone who wants to offer a different point of view. When the Bible study is finished, no atheists or non-Christians is allowed. This video will not be taken down. I will not be the only person calling Faithful to God out on this issue. Jesus is Lord. So we can suspect that Veckel is in tow. That's funny. Please read the description of the video. I will adjust the settings where atheists will not be able to disrupt this very important Bible study. Yeah. So let's see if the Christians, people calling themselves Christian, are going to try and stop G-Man from doing this, because this seems like this should be something to be done in private, behind closed doors, don't you think? That whole Matthew 18 thing? No. Nope. Let's see who will be called out for that, which we already know. Who's going to be absolved from that, we already know. It's the same shit, different day. Watch what I say. Faithful is what I would think an actually good Christian would act like. I would actually have the patience to listen to his arguments, as ineffective as they may be. Yeah, and it's like I said, he and I disagree theologically. I think he has better arguments than some. Maybe not the best, but you could still talk to him afterwards and hang out, and it'd be cool. It's not anything really really contentious. Faithful has a lot of kindness and self control. And why are you're not supposed to be saying positive things about Christians? Stop it. I could listen to someone like that for hours. Stop. You're not supposed to. It's supposed to be divide and conquer. You're supposed to hate all Christians. Remember that. G-Man starts out with an offensive tone to his voice in most hangouts, rudely interrogate everyone. Yeah, and you don't see that from somebody who, you know, somebody doesn't have that type of demeanor. If I become a Christian, I won't, but hypothetically speaking, it would be because of Christians like Faithful. There you go. There you go. But, actions speak louder than words. Somebody's saying check out G-Man's community tab. The one on his G-Man channel? Or the one on his main channel? Oh, he wiped that bad boy clean. Oh, shit. Boy, he wiped that thing clean. That's hilarious. Oh, he cleared it. He covered his ass. Oh, shit. Someone did admit, I forgot about that. He wiped that bad boy clean. There's nothing on there now. Oh, someone's covering his ass. Someone's covering his ass. Oh, boy. Why would you need to do that, G-Man? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. If atheists spoil a Christian Bible study, then all-knowing God would have predicted and condoned it. I see what you did there. Well, I think you would be surprised about how Christians normally are here in Norway. I think I'd be surprised how people in Norway would normally be in general. You guys are weird. You and your Norway-like activity. I know next to nothing about people from Norway. The Norwegians, if you will. Y'all have some weird, I say weird, some long strip of road with oceans. Like it's a pretty thin strip of road, and it may just be one way or maybe a two-way road, but there's rocks and stuff built up. I think it's like a artificial levee, and it's just big waves coming up, and I think it floods it might be Norway that I saw that in. I'm really bad at geography and remembering stuff like that. That will be Sister Cherry's apology. The videos aren't there anymore. Now they aren't there anymore. Why doesn't G-Man pray for Dragnauct to get a job? I see what you did there. We sing, we drink ale, and plunder mostly. Oh, okay, yeah. Jetty might be the right word. I think Drag would have made a pretty good Viking. Maybe. Yeah, G-Man removed the videos about Faithful. Did he? Let's see. Oh, he did. Yeah. Oh, shit. It's not on my phone. Let me refresh. Yeah, the latest video is 2 days ago. Yep, he removed them. Yeah, Cherry probably told him to take them down. I want to say they are gotten. At least one of them is already obtained, so he can take it down if he wants to. But that it's going to be useful later, because it's so categorizing and extracting all the instances of this guy's behavior has been a task, and mostly people like Sabella have been doing it, but no one's been able to hold him accountable. That's why you have literally years of him doing it. So it's good though when you collate all the information and then you show people, and he gets upset because you notice that he keeps telling people that I've been lying about him. I have his videos. Like, you can watch it. And I could just sit up in the corner and not say anything. Well, I can't because, obviously it has to be a transformative piece. But I could just sit and let his content play, and people will come to the same conclusion. People who aren't up his ass, excuse me. G-Man got so triggered last night that he probably cried himself to sleep while clutching a barrel. He actually looked like he was crying at the start of the second street. He was crying. Excuse me. I could see him down in the what you call him, the backstage. Yeah, I already read that. I could see him down in the backstage, where obviously only the person controlling the room. His eyes, were red, and there's tears. Like he's wiping his face. At one point, of course, y'all couldn't see this. At one point, I say, "Oh, we got a guest here." Uh-oh, someone looks upset. When I said that, he raises his shirt and he wipes his whole face off, and he goes and he grabs a hat. Y'all didn't see that though. He had wiped his eyes right in his whole face right before he came in. He had been crying. So, where does Shanny body pillow? Is Shanny body pillow coming in merch store soon? Soon. I bet they're private again. Not really deleted, probably. Uh, I'll be a Black Viking. There's a there's a channel, Weird History. I've been watching that lately. If y'all want to know what Dragnauct's been watching, Weird History, and cooking with history, or history with cooking, or something like that. It's a kind of a bit of a flamboyant gay guy who is I think he lives in L.A. and he has recipes of like garum and all type of weird ancient shit like that. He gives you like a brief history lesson. I'm I find history interesting, especially like art history. I'm in no way, shape, or form knowledgeable in the topic, but I find it fascinating. Over 2,000 videos, including those have been removed. Yeah, it's a big archive. I don't think he's been asleep at all night. Probably not. I went to sleep. What's going on, Mr. Anthony? Oh, you reminded me of something. So, what's the name of his channel? Main channel? Type in G-Man, Gman space GTV. That's how I get access to both channels. Because if you just type in G-Man, there's the Half-Life G-Man guy, or the basketball, whatever the fuck that dude is. That comes up. So for Monday, I'm going to continue the saga since G-Man's not made mention of any deals or anything like that where he's going to stop attacking people. Obviously, he doesn't care. So we're going to have part 10 of the saga, and I think I'm going to end it here. I've been 117 minutes. So for part 10 of the saga, it's going to be a bit of an interlude. And I'm going to open StreamYard Hangout, and I'm going to show some receipts, and we're going to discuss what happened in the background between David Weiser, G-Man, and Doc Savage in G-Man. Because remember, in episode 9, G-Man says that, he didn't have a place to stay, but luckily he got some money from David Weiser. He made the video and first made it like he was in the cold on the 1st of February. But we still saw on February 8th and February 10th, he was still in the house, even though David Weiser had given him $1,000. So we're going to discuss what he had said before then, that he didn't have a place to stay, which is not true. He had plenty of offers. And Doc Savage was one of the people who had offered him room and board, non-cashless, donation, to have everything already paid for in his name, and have Instacart groceries shipped to him. So we'll talk about that, and y'all get to hear straight from the horse's mouth rather than me. Thank you all. So, so that's what we're gonna do Monday. Yeah, it's gonna be at the same time, Doc and David, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. G-Man history, yeah. G-Man cycle will go down in YouTube history. Yeah, okay. Maybe. Just maybe. Yeah. So I think later today I'm going to eat my pancakes actually because I had pancakes from yesterday. I'm going to eat my pancakes and I'm going to chill with the wife. I think I got to take the car to the appointment. I'm going to see if the car even needs to have the AC checked. Yeah, I might have to wait till later and do that. Actually, I'll wait till after. But got some adult stuff to do. Later today, we'll probably pick up and read some of Rev's book. I think we're at page 20, 21, chapter 4 maybe of the Tinto Saga. I have to look at it again. I got to go back to the last video. We'll pick up on Tinto Saga. It'll be a nice little palate cleanser before tomorrow. So last week is my last week of school. Next week, last week of school. After that, I will have my bachelor's degree. So that's going on. So on that note, I will catch y'all later. And hopefully we'll see another impotent rage stream from G-Man soon. We'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't. He's going to try and behave himself at least a little bit. You'll see his behavior change based on who he's around. People who may keep him in check are gonna. Well, you know what? You know what? You not even say that. Oh, this is interesting. Huh. Now check this out. Y'all see that? I don't know if that's backwards. That's interesting. He's not on here for filthy lucracy. That's interesting. Which videos D-Man take down? So the last two. So the one that I was in. Actually, no. That was the one about Faithful to God he took down because he put that on his main channel. There's another one that I was in, but that was on GTV. I think that one's still up. So I think I've gotten that confused because I thought both of them were on G-Man. No, one was on GTV. Let me double check GTV. I think it's Atheism Sucks. Yep. Okay, so that one's still up. That one's still up. The one that he took down was on G-Man channel. That was the Faithful to God is a Liar. But yeah. So Sabella, someone got the one from last night. But the Faithful to God one, I'm not sure if that one was gotten. If that was obtained. You are destroying Gary's whole life. He only has his fans and money from his sheep. That's all he has. Yeah, and it's... But and here's the thing. Like, he can be upset now, because I know people are upset that people are on soccer accounts now trying to come for me. Oh, no. But it's interesting how... Of course, everything's interesting to me. It's interesting how much G-Man talks about, like, y'all's money, because what does he care? I've donated some of that money to Faithful to God and Shield Squad. Well, the remnants of Shield Squad, I should say that, in their efforts. Right? So it's, what does he care? Why do y'all think that he's asking for an appearance fee? Why do y'all think he keeps raising the amount and telling people how much attention he'll garner? Why do y'all think he keeps mentioning that stuff? Huh? Just saying. Why do y'all think that? Why do you think he hasn't mentioned to Sister Cherry? And some of y'all caught this before. He hadn't told Sister Cherry that I've been giving him money throughout the years. She didn't know that. Why would he leave that out? Questions. All interesting questions. Talking about a 43-minute video. Yeah, so Trevor, I think that's the Faithful to God is a Liar video. I think that's the... I know he took that one down because I just looked at it not too long ago. That one's not around. He may remain calm at first, but you know he likes to work himself into a froth. Yeah, oh yeah, he enjoys it. Yeah, so the video that's gone is the Faithful to God is a Liar. That one doesn't make him look too good. Actually, I want to before I end this, I want to see if he still hasn't taken down the very video that Faithful pointed out. Let me see. Let me go on his G Man channel. Let me see if he took it down because I was able to find it in real time. I knew exactly where it was because I just used it in my videos. I didn't. That's not a copy. I used his version. Uh, da, 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 da. That's 7 months ago. Because he keeps saying it was 3 years ago. I'm like, no, it's not. There's a reason. There's a reason I know how long ago it was because I know exactly where it is. That's a year ago. And oh, okay, yep, that's a park video. Do you have a education? That's the brick wall. That's the tent video. Well, what we call the tent videos. He wasn't in a tent. Where is it? I guarantee y'all it's still up. I'm putting money on it. I bet you it's still up. Where is it? Oh man. How sad would it be if he still had this video up? Even after all that. Even after all that. It's the house. He's still in the house. These are the beginnings of the house. He was the podcast. Christmas, we're getting close. That's the Philly video. Oh, the Black Hebrew Israelite owned video where he was doing a parody. Oh, this had to be the interim. Mind your business. Uh-oh. Mm-mm. Ooh. Yep, that is. Oh, he may have taken it down. Oh, nope, he did not. No, he did not. I found it. He didn't take it down. Neither one. So up at the top, see if y'all can see that. Shield G Consciousness and Shield Squad. So if that one's up, the other one must be up too. Yep, there it is. There it is. There it is. Y'all see Faithful to God? There it is. Yep. That one's still up too. He still didn't take him down. He still has him up. Oh man. That is hilarious. Even after all of this, he still has them up. But then that goes, say shit to him. He still has those videos on there. Thanks, Drag. Another week of videos and posts about how you don't bother him. He's not worried about how much money you make. Yeah, he'll keep telling me. He'll keep telling me that. When did he post the faith is a lie? That was last night. So Sabella, after he came into my hangout and started arguing with Faithful, he left, and then he went live, and he was streaming, my video, and I think it was like Faithful to God's a Liar, something like. I think that was the title. That video is not up. That one is not up. He called Veckel a leftist, did he? To take them down would mean he was wrong. Yeah, weird, huh? So he still didn't take those videos down. Dude, that's funny. Okay, I don't know why I'm surprised. So I'm gonna watch some Wings of Redemption, and I actually watch some anime on Hulu, and eat some pancakes. So on that note, y'all have a good day. We'll probably do some reading as a palate cleanser later. I'm look over some notes and stuff like that, and spend some anime time with the wife. Must have been full moon last night. Yeah. All right, folks. Oh, one of y'all had. Actually, I'll mention. I'll wait till this blows over. But somebody who sent something and requested that it go in a particular place, that's been taken care of. It was taken care of last night discreetly. So you know who you are. You know what it was about. So there you go. Anyway, later. Doo-doo-doo.